First, call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. 6:30 p.m. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes of October 2nd, 2025. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye. All yes. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the first public hearing is the Lysander Road Sewer District Extension. Number 1, can I get a motion to open the public hearing for the Lysander Road Sewer District Extension?
I'll second it.
At 6:31 p.m. All in favor? Aye. All yes. The public hearing is open. Just if anybody would like to come up and speak in favor or against the sewer district creation for one property over off of the West Phoenix Sewer Extension, which is commonly known to everybody right now as Angry Pig, would like to add to extend their sewer system, you may now come up and speak. Going once, going twice, seeing none. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move it.
At 6:32.
I'll second it.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All yes, public hearing is closed. The next public hearing on the agenda is for the Town of Lysander 2026 preliminary budget.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Councilor Gerasi moved and Councilor Kudaraka second at 6:32 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is now open. The first item in the public hearing, we'll get a brief presentation from our town comptroller, Collins Appeasy, with assistance from me, so bear with me. Giving everybody a quick glimpse here.
Presentation.
Where do I hit that?
Down bottom. Down one, right there.
There?
Next one.
Go ahead, Alan.
All right. So the 2026 preliminary budget. The general fund, all transactions are recorded in the general fund unless the law provides otherwise. The A fund costs that are applicable to town taxpayers, all town taxpayers. The B fund costs charged only to taxpayers living outside the village of Baldwin zone. The A fund functions include town board, town supervisor, justice court, comptroller, tax receiver, town clerk, town engineer, assessor, dog control, highway admin, parks and recreation, historian, town attorney, and the town buildings. The B fund functions include code enforcement, planning board, and zoning board. And the highway fund, costs for maintaining roads, including road repairs, snow removal, weeds and brush removal, and as well as costs are charged to taxpayers living outside the village of Baldwin zone. The 2026 budgeted expenditures are $7,162,030, which is a $591,479 increase from 2025. Now we'll just go through a breakdown of how the expenditures by category. So the first payroll is $2,263,641, which is a $194,977 increase from 25. Benefits are $1,193,000 $957, which is a $107,577 increase from 25. Equipment is $402,250, $73,250 increase. Contractual is $3,215,584, which is a $338,031 increase. Reserve accounts are $85,000, which was flat, and debt is $1,599, which is a $122,355 decrease. Overall, again, the change was $591,479.
And just to add into that, the biggest part of the debt that came off was the consolidated debt for the buildings.
Yes.
We made our last loan payment this year, so next year that's moved. We have a couple of building improvements that I'll address later at the end, but that was the biggest change in the debt service.
This just gives a demonstration of how it's categorized. So payroll accounts for 31.61% of the expenditures. Benefits are 16.67%. Equipment is 5.62%. Contractual is 44.9%. Reserve accounts are 1.19%, and debt is 0.02%. So now this is categorized by fund. So in 2026, the A fund is $2,969,810, which was $157,219 increase from 25. B fund is $430,940, which is $128,486 increase. Highway is $3,761,280, which is a $305,774 increase. Same as before, just a demonstration of how it's broken down. So the general fund accounts for 41.5% of the expenditures. The B fund accounts for 6%, and the highway accounts for 52.5%. We'll switch gears into revenue. There's three sources of revenues that pay for the budgeted expenditures: other income, appropriated fund balance, and property taxes. The other income is made up of pilots, interest and penalties on tax payments, franchise fees, clerk fees, engineer fees, park fees, licenses, fines, mortgage tax, and state aid. The budgeted other income in 2026 was $1,858,814, which is a $48,560 increase. Excuse me, it's actually supposed to say $48,678. The total other income by fund: A fund was $1,131,224, which is a $40,201 increase. B fund was $64,398, an $80 decrease. And the highway fund was $663,193, which is an $8,556 increase. Take a look at the property tax levy. So in 2026, the whole town levy was $1,238,066, which is a $216,497 increase. B fund was $251,068, $78,091 increase. Highway fund was $2,449,082, or $98,214 increase. Tax rate calculation per 1,000 is the assessed value divided by the tax amount divided by 1,000. So the A fund assessed value is $2,218,090,606, and the rate per 1,000 was almost 56 cents. The B fund was $1,882,850,500, which was a 13-cent increase. And the highway fund, the assessed value is the same, which was a $1.30 rate per 1,000. The tax rate inside the village has increased by about 9 cents. And then outside the village, The A fund again increased by 9 cents. The B fund increased by 4 cents, and the highway fund increased by about 3 cents for an overall increase of 16 cents per 1,000. So on a $250,000 home, the 2026 inside village tax rate would be $139.54, or a $22.69 increase. And then outside the village, the general fund is the same, and the B fund is $33.34, or $9.98 increase. The highway fund is $325.18, or $7.65 increase. Move on to special districts. So the costs are paid by those property owners who directly receive the benefit: street lighting, water supply, water, fire protection, sewer, and drainage. The lighting rate is based on previous year power expenditures. The water supply rate based on annual hydrant fees and lease agreements with Aqua. The water districts are supplied by village water, intended to be self-sustaining through water billing rates. The sewer rate set by a combination of operating costs and debt service. Drainage rate set by anticipated future maintenance needs and current fund balance. And the fire protection rate set by a contract amount with the fire company. 2026 special district expenditures. In the lighting district, there's $209,405. It's all being raised by taxes. The water supply was $53,852, also being raised by taxes. The water districts, $17,563 expenditures with $11,288 from fund balance, for $6,275 to be raised by taxes. The fire district is $129,597, all coming from taxes. Sewer districts was $224,514, and $6,000 is coming from fund balance, for a total of $218,414 from the sewer district from taxes. And then the drainage district was $321,107. The fund balance is appropriated was $30,473, meaning $290,634 in taxes. Some brief highlights.
Thank you, Colin. The highlights are my end of the presentation, and what we have here is, why did taxes go up? And in the highlights here, we have the Troopers Barracks renovations. By our contract with the New York State Troopers, we are required to upgrade the building, floors, paint, lights. As we found last year, everybody wanted us to keep the New York State Troopers here, which we did. There is a cost for that. Long term, this will be covered by the increase in rent that the state troopers are paying, but that won't cover that increase in 1 year. We now since get about an additional $36,000 when you see our other sources of income. That went up about 36 grand compared to the new rent rate from the old rent rate, mostly by the Troopers Barracks. So that's one of the items on there. With our union contracts finally being ratified, the A fund and B fund, we had increases for benefits, contributions, and increases in salaries. So some of that was part of the increase. The other items we have for the increases, we have lowered our appropriated fund balance. Last year we appropriated $700,000. This year we've only appropriated $600,000. That's about 4 of the 9 cents in the difference of the tax rate. So, half of the tax rate is we've got to wean ourselves. When we have $1.5 million of fund balance, we obviously can't use $600,000 or $700,000 every year. If you go back to the presentation for what we do with the review of the previous budget, you see we normally don't spend the fund balance we appropriate. Projects don't get completed. Items, prices come in lower. It's our best guess when we're sitting here creating the budget. So, but we've got to wean ourselves off of that fund balance usage, because that would ultimately be 30-40% usage. Every year you obviously can't sustain it. Other towns have run into that issue. One of the projects we're doing here, our vault space needs to be renovated and upgraded, so part of this year's expenses for buildings, $55,000, was obligated to getting a rolling vault system to almost double our capacity inside our vault. That will help us get all of our records separated and segregated between the courts and the town stuff, and also keep them secure. Something that we've just been working for. We tried to get a grant back in the spring through the, I can't remember the State Department for records management, and we were unsuccessful. Usually your better off towns don't have as much of a chance getting those grants. The other item we increased in our expenses this year, we've ultimately put about $20,000 to $25,000 toward the license plate reader camera system that we've been in discussions with FLOC. It's in the budget. We still have some discussions about, how that system would work and how the information would be able to be used. So we have that in the budget. The other item, biggest thing this year, was a $15,000 increase for funding for Cantonwood Senior Center. Majority of the population, the mayor sent me information, I think there was roughly 9,200 people over the age of 55, which 55 and over can use Cantonwood Senior Center now, live in the town of Lysander, including the village, that could use Cantonwoods. They just did a roof renovation last year, so we're helping pay that part off with the roof renovation with that additional $15,000. And we had not increased our contribution to Cantonwoods. Last year we upped it to $75. We hadn't increased that in probably 8 to 10 years at least. So it's a great thing. It's a great building. It gives opportunity for the seniors to do a lot of activities over there. It also houses Meals on Wheels and a lot of things that we do for the that help the citizens of the town of Lysander, town of Van Buren, and the village of Baldwinsville. On the B fund side, majority of the increases were, again, salaries, trainings, retirements. The expenditures are up. One of the things is we have had, when we have zoning or litigation or litigation against the planning board, it comes out of the B fund. When that's a part-time expenditure. If you look at the budget, the B fund is our smallest fund because it does have the smallest moving parts, the fewest people. It's pretty consistent. We have the zoning and planning board. They meet pretty, the planning board meets usually monthly. Zoning board, depending on the year, they might only meet 4 to 6 times a year. It depends how busy they are. And of course, with that, people have the freedom to, litigate decisions that they might not feel were made fairly by the town or by the officers. So we have had some legal fees there. It's not surprising. Towns get sued all the time. So we've increased our legal fee contributions, expenditures. We've also added a position of planning and development director with Melvin Farms and with other possible zone changes, updates to our codes. We felt the need to have a planning and development director in the town. So we have put money toward that position to assist the codes office, to assist planning and zoning, to assist us with the future. We really haven't updated our zoning in quite a few years. And we know compared to other towns, we need to adjust and modify some of those zones. Micron gets built 7 miles away. So we've increased that. The other thing we did, if you see, we did put a drastic increase of fund balance. That is to offset the possibility of adding a full-time codes officer. Right now, we have 1 full-time code officer and a part-time code officer. So we weren't really sure where the future may lead us with that. So we offset the possible increase in contributions with that with fund balance to not tax people for something that we may not end up putting in next year. So on the highway side of things, the DB fund, the expenditures, we went up $310,000, but we also put another $200,000 of fund balance to it. the state of the town previously. We didn't end up, some of the items and equipment that we had expected to receive last year didn't come in. So we put quite a bit of money back into the fund balance for not expending that, so we used it this year because I know that one of our brand new trucks is sitting at the highway barn. I don't know if the other two have showed up yet. Do you have any idea?
One's next week and the other one's
Right.
6 to 8 weeks away.
We also got a street sweeper this year because ours was pretty old and tired. We did hear back from Senator May. We have received the opportunity for a $200,000 CREST grant to help replace our vac truck. Now that is anywhere from 12 to 18 month process. We'll submit the application. Hopefully, we'll submit that in November. Hopefully we'll hear next year, and then we can put that into the equipment fund. Vac trucks run about 500 grand. That's 200,000 toward that vac truck, so that would be a great assist from Senator May's office to help us offset that cost. We have 3 plow trucks. One's here, the other 2, we have 2 6-wheelers and a 10-wheeler. Those now run $300,000 to $320,000. A 10-wheeler is about $350,000. Those costs haven't gone down since COVID. The other part of the highway fund is last winter was sort of back to a normal winter for the month of February. We've been fortunate the last 4 or 5 years, we didn't have a winter close to that since 2019. So when you look back at our funding for salt and other items, we were a little short on those levels, so we did increase for overtime. We had the numbers on what we spent this year so far, which is ultimately, it covers 2 budgets. Snow season starts November, December, goes through to April. So we looked at what we spent on the people we had last winter, make our best guess for next year, so we did increase a lot of the part-time. And with the, increases in pay and raises for the union contracts, we had some additional costs there. But other than that, I think it was a great budget process. I applaud the board for working with me and with also working with you. The department heads came in. We had our conversations with the large departments that we needed to. The smaller departments that are a matter of people, that they don't change. Teresa's here tonight to give her presentation, but like the assessor's office, the smaller departments, there's not really much change there other than the people and what the supplies and what our annual fees are for memberships or programs that they need to run their departments. So hats off, Colin, for spending time on it. And if anybody would like to come in and talk, the presentation will be up on the website. I think I got it up today. Not sure the town clerk was out today, but we'll have copies here available if you wanted to come in and get a hard copy. I know my board did not get a hard copy because I did not make copies tonight. I'm sorry about that. Failed my clerical duties. So, but we saw the presentation. So now, thank you, Colin. If anybody in the public has any questions, don't all rush up to the microphone at once. But we'll open the public hearing. People in favor or against the preliminary budget?
I guess I will say something, if that's okay. How we doing? Vince Mangan, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys. I know a lot of the stuff happens behind the scenes, and you guys put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes, not just you guys, but like you said, the department heads. And I just wanted to take a moment just to say thank you. As a resident of Lysander, your work doesn't go unnoticed, and we really appreciate it and continue to support you in any way that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. And for those who don't know, Vince is on our ZBA. We thank you for stepping up and being on the ZBA. It's not, in this day and age of getting people to help out in those boards that don't always, the ZBA met, I think, twice the year before. They've been a little busier this year.
Yeah.
So, but thank you also for your time and service and dedication for the meetings you attend and the work you put into that.
Appreciate it.
Is there anyone else? Seeing none, does the board have any comments?
Good process.
That was a good process.
It's a good budget.
Good budget.
Yep. Excellent. Okay. Well, we will make a motion to close the public hearing at 6:55.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Close the 2026 preliminary budget. And just so everybody knows, we'll come back. I don't like to vote the same night on public hearings unless it's stop signs or something that's really, boilerplate. We will come back next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and we will start right at 5:30 p.m. and probably be done at 5:31 p.m. With adopting the budget. Right here in this room.
So is it 5:30?
5:30, yes, I didn't see a sense in waiting till 6:30 for that. I know Mr. Moore likes to be able to enjoy an evening after getting done with his day.
I hope we all do.
Well, you have a little more of a day than most of us, I think. Next item on the agenda, Teresa Golden's here with our assessor's report.
Good evening. Like we spoke before, I'm doing these quarterly. Any other time that you want to talk about a specific issue, just contact me or the supervisor. On September 2nd, we mailed 647 renewal applications for our senior citizen exemptions. That they have to be renewed by March 1st for next year's roll. We received one small claim filing for 2025. The town of Lysander received no new Supreme Court filings for 2025. Our current cases are the Church Road Solar Farm Company is challenging the Baldwinsville School District solar exemption opt-out and wants the exemption granted, which is totally not up to me. And McLean has filed an assessment challenge. Those are our only two current cases. The town offices have been extremely busy due to late school bill mailing and missing bank codes. There's new people at the county, and Baldwinsville School District was the first district alphabetically, so we basically took the hit here in Van Buren, Lysander, and a little bit in the town of Clay. Senior exemption renewals are being accepted and processed as time permits. And the 2025-2026 state budget included the following changes to the STAR program. All of our applications for either basic or enhanced STAR have been eliminated. The state will determine new enhanced exemptions and notify the assessor, and homeowners with a change of ownership will be required to update the state homeowner portal online or call state representatives at their phone number. Renewal applications for our agricultural, nonprofit, firefighters, and clergy exemptions will be mailed in December. I attended the New York State Assessors Association conference last week, the week of October 6th, and this will award me 12 continuing education credits, which is a year's worth. And at that conference, the STAR discussion from the state presentation got just a little terse. And we found out that the STAR exemption updates in the budget, state budget, will include the State Department of Taxation and Finance registering all basic STAR exemptions starting next month in November. So as I understand it, currently they will be mailing letters to property owners who have the basic STAR exemption, which means that's the exemption that appears on your school bill. It's a discount on the school bill. It will not affect the enhanced STAR recipients or the people that get the STAR credit, which is the check program, okay? And I will continue as treasurer of the Onondaga County Assessors Association for 2026. And just to give you an idea of what's been going on countywide this year, 4 assessors in Onondaga County have retired. 2 have left employment in Onondaga County, and 2 senior county finance department employees will have retired by year's end. So we expect a little bit of growing pains as things move along. Questions?
Teresa, you always do a good job. Just for the benefit of folks who may not know what the program is and who are watching, can you just briefly, what is the Senior Citizen Exemption Program? What is that?
It's actually called the Senior Citizen Limited Income Exemption. It's confused. Everybody thinks STAR covers everything, which is not the case. And so the Senior Citizen Limited Income Exemption is for seniors who are 65 years of age and older. and their household income, gross income, has to be under $58,400 to qualify, and that includes your total Social Security, even if it's not taxable. And so if anyone is not sure, the easiest way to find out if you meet that $58,400 requirement is to either call the assessor's office. One of the staff will go through the tax return over the phone with you and tell you what lines on that tax return. Currently, for the 2026 exemptions, we are looking at the 2024 federal tax return. Or if you're out and about and you have your tax return, you can always come to the window. It takes less than 5 minutes for any of the staff to calculate whether or not you actually would qualify for that exemption.
And the reason it has nothing to do with STAR is that this is a county program, correct?
Actually, it's statewide.
Oh, it is?
It's a statewide exemption, but each locality, and I mean county, town, school district, villages, all of those taxing entities have the right by local option to set their own income limits. And so it's the same exemption statewide, but the income requirements vary because of that local option. I have heard rumblings from the Baldwinsville School District that they have or will be entertaining a change to their income requirements for the senior citizen exemption. And that will be, if that follows through, it will be the first change that Baldwinsville has made since 2000. So it's been almost, January of 2000 was the last time they changed it. So it'll be almost 26 years. So next week, I'm gonna contact the school district and at the business office and find out, because if they have changed it, it will apply for the 2026 assessment roll, which means we're gonna have to recalculate the senior citizen exemption portion for everyone in Baldwinsville School District, based on any new income requirements.
And if they don't, they have to act by,
They would have to act, I believe it's 60 days prior to March 1st.
okay,
Yeah.
so it would have to happen
It would
within
have
the
to
next
happen
couple
pretty,
months.
yeah, it would have to happen pretty soon,
And
yeah.
that's where,
Otherwise, it would be the following year,
right.
yeah.
And that's what gets confusing when people come in, I see them as they're paying their tax bills, is, people don't understand the delay with,
Yeah.
with the tax rolls and how they come out, when you have to have your exemptions in and be, and submitted them. And the other thing that Teresa's told us is tonight, the state is doing more of what the assessor's office used to do. They're taking, and it's not the towns, the state is deciding to take
Yes.
more away from the assessor's office, so.
As far
when people-
as the STAR program, because that money is different than the senior citizen exemption. That money comes locally from everyone else that doesn't have a senior exemption. But the STAR program is a statewide program, but that money comes from the state. So they have decided that they can administer it better, which I have yet to see.
Yeah, it's good. It has caused a lot of issues for
I'm tired of being caught in the middle.
our older people that are used to
Yeah.
coming in and
Yeah.
talking to the assessor's office to now you have to file
Yes.
with the state. So
You have to deal with
please
the
be
state.
patient. The assessor's office assists you as much as they can.
Yes.
And it's not a local decision that's being made. It's a state decision that gets decided, and then,
Then they plan.
Then they have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
For the benefit, I just want to make sure I understand it. Do you have to file with the state for the STAR, or is the state just going to find you?
Right now, there are two things. The STAR exemption is the discount off your school tax
Right.
bill. And that you have, if you are grandfathered in and actually had that exemption prior to 2015. If you bought a house or moved or applied after 2015, the state budget in 2016 mandated that you could no longer have that exemption, the savings off your tax bill. You had to register with the state and you get the STAR credit check. And then there's the difference between a basic, which is for people under 65, or whose incomes are higher than the limit for the enhanced STAR. Enhanced Star, you have to be 65 and older, and the income limit for your 2024 tax return for next year's exemptions is $110,750. So basically, what they're going to be doing, those exemptions, that they're already handling the enhanced program. They notify us, we make the changes, so it's like a combination thing. What's going to change this year is that basic registration, because they are going to be determining who's 65 and who's not, and they don't have that information now. So they need that in their database in order to determine. Before, they would, when you turn 65, you would fill out an application, you would come into my office, we would look at your income, we would say, happy birthday, you qualify for the Enhanced Star, and, you know, the state will take it from here. That no longer happens. So they have to facilitate a way of finding those basic star people by their birthday and letting us know that they qualify.
Yeah, so it's going to be a change. And of course, right now, as Therese found last week, they don't have a plan set in stone of how they're doing that.
No.
So this is a learn as we go process with a very large portion of what people depend on. So, you know, look in your mail, because that's what they're saying right now. Don't discount anything. If you get something that looks out here, call the assessor's office. They will.
Yeah, they notify us when the mailings are going out, because, and we talked about this at the conference, that they're sending all these letters from taxation and finance. And every day we're telling people, particularly our seniors who are impacted by this, watch out for scams.
Right.
Well,
And they look, and I would say 50% of our seniors get those letters that are legitimate and don't do anything with them because they think it's a scam.
Well, I call that Albany number. First question they ask you, what's your social? They will not talk to you unless you give them your full social security number,
Yeah.
which is absurd.
Yep.
You can't even say what's your last 4 digits, what's your address, name, nothing.
No.
They need your full social security number.
Yeah.
But the guy will read off his employee number if that makes you feel any better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fast that you can't even write it down.
Or do anything with it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for Teresa?
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. Are there any citizens wishing to comment tonight? Seeing none, we'll move along to town board comments. Start with Councilor Moore.
Thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stick to the agenda.
That's a ditto, and I'm just want to echo or say it again, the budget process really went smoothly. It was a pleasure to be a part of that team.
Thank you, Colin, for putting the budget presentation together along with Kevin, and thank you, Teresa, for giving us a quarterly update. Thank you.
Supervisors' comments. I just have a couple tonight. We won't have our adopted budget meeting. PAC-B doesn't come. Just wanted to remind everybody Halloween. I know we're still giving out window spaces. I think they're up to 290 or possibly 300 people. So they are going to be using Town Hall for windows to paint, which is great. That is on September 25th, so contact the park, I'm sorry, yeah. I want to go back in time because now it's moving too fast. October 25th, which is a week from Saturday. So if you were thinking of trying to get a window, please contact the Parks Department quickly. Other than that, didn't have anything else at this meeting. Department head reports. Mr. Herkel.
Nothing at this time.
Comptroller.
Nothing else at this time.
Thank you. Town engineer.
Nothing tonight.
Okay, and I think we've heard everything from the assessors.
I'm good.
Thank you, Teresa.
I have a question.
Well, you missed citizens'
I
comments.
raised my hand, you didn't look at it.
Oh, geez. Sorry, Mrs. Road. Quickly.
Will there be early voting here when they're doing the windows? If it's October 25th?
Yeah, they won't be inside. I assume the Parks Department will set up to give out the paint. They'll have a small thing here for the people painting here. In the village, they set up usually over at, I think, the cottage and give out the paint for the people there. But they shouldn't affect this.
They're out here.
No, they're gonna do the front windows and the ones that face 31. I don't think they're taking any of this, so it shouldn't affect the early voting. And early voting will start on Saturday, October 25th. Thank you.
Just one.
Okay. Next item, agenda items. Can I get, on the agenda, we're gonna table motion C, just so everybody knows. A, I'd like to get a motion to accept the Lamson Road Sewer District extension.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Discussion, we've had that on the work session, we scheduled a public hearing. No one spoke in favor, it's one business being added, they're paying all the costs of coming into the district. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All yes, motion carried. Motion B, I'd like to get a motion to accept the draft of the Cold Spring Sewer District Phase 1 map plan and report prepared by CHA Consulting dated 10/14/25.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Discussion. This is the refined map plan and report for the Cold Spring Sewer District Phase 1, which is feeding off of the Melvin Farms incentive zoning project. And Mr. Yeager, would you like to explain the project?
Sure, this sewer district includes from Palmer Elementary south on Hicks Road to 370, Camerondale and Gloria Drive off of Hicks Road, all of the Melvin Farms project, the houses on North Hayes Road from the culvert crossing at the low point to 370, Amelia Park, and the Brickwalk subdivisions. There is a total of There is a total of 681 equivalent dwelling units, with 537 of those being part of the Melvin Farms project. Total cost of the project is $6,982,000. The total anticipated bond amount for the town's portion of the construction, excluding the Melvin Farms project, is $3,170,000. Project schedule is construction the goal is to start construction in summer of 2026 and complete in summer of 2027, with Palmer School District being online at the start of the 27-28 school district year. Relatively aggressive schedule to get all the regulatory approvals, go through the bonding process, and get the project bid. But we feel it's attainable, and with the urgency that the school district has with their septic system at Palmer Elementary, we'll make it happen.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. All yes, motion carried. As I said, motion C, we will table. We are waiting to get our information on the bonding from the developer before we move forward with the public hearing for the consideration of the formation of the district. Motion D, can I get a motion to levy any unpaid water bills from the Village of Baldwinsville to the 2026 county town property tax bills?
I'll move it.
I'll second that.
Discussion, per the town attorney, this is the first time in a few years that we've done this. We want to memorialize any unpaid taxes and bills that we receive from the Village of Baldwinsville and the Village of Phoenix for water in the Village of Baldwinsville, sewer service in the Village of Phoenix for the West Phoenix Sewer District, to put them on the next year tax rolls, which usually happens with unpaid bills. And also for us on a later motion for property remediation work we did this year. All in favor?
Aye.
All yes, motion carried. Motion E, like to get a motion to levy any unpaid sewer bills from the Village of Phoenix to the 2026 county town property tax.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. All yes, motion carried. Motion F, I'd like to get a motion to levy any unpaid property remediation bills from the town of Lysander to the 2026 county town property tax bills.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All yes, motion carried. Motion G, can I get a motion to waive the 30-day advance notice requirements for Trappers Bar and Grill LLC, 1140 Morgan Road, Memphis, pursuant to their application to the New York State Liquor Authority as set forth by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Law.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion. This was asked for by the new owner of the property. This happens all the time. It is a very long process to get a liquor license through New York State, so this helps them speed that up by a month. Sometimes it takes anywhere from 10 to 19 months to get this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, yes, motion carried. Motion H, I'd like to get a motion to hire Brandon Hamacher as a laborer wing person in the highway department with the hourly rate as outlined in the union contract.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
Discussion, have none. It's the time of year where we reach out to people who've been wingmen before. Some people drop off. We add people to the list. This is a new hire to help out in the winter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, yes, motion carried. Motion I, I'd like to get a motion to accept the resignation of Gretchen Starr, effective October 2nd, 2025, as deputy town clerk.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Discussion, I'd like to thank Gretchen for her service. Hope we wish her well with her future endeavors. All in favor? Aye. All yes, motion carried. If we get a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:17 PM.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Motion adjourned. For everybody who wants to show up, we'll see you next Thursday night at 5:30. If not, we'll see you November 6th. Everybody.